Izobe Spiff is Blackford Center for Event Planning, UK certified event planner. She's a solicitor, and she's the founder of Cranium Event Consultancy, based here in Port Harcourt. She loves turning people's wishes into memorable events. Her excellence in the art of event planning and execution endeared her to the hearts of thousands who have given her rave reviews. A deep sense of commitment to training and mentoring young and upcoming entrepreneurs in the event and related industries led to the institutionalization of the event show. I don't know how many of us have attended the event show. A flagship networking platform for entrepreneurs wishing to explore the growth potentials in the industry. Let's make welcome Izobe Spiff to the stage. Welcome, ma'am. Yeah, please sit. Olaotan Towry-Coker is the founder of Afritickets.com. And Afritickets.com is the leading online event ticketing platform in Nigeria. He's also the founder of Cranium, a shared office platform for entrepreneurs, small businesses, and early-stage companies to create their dream businesses. Olaotan holds a BSc in Biochemistry and Biotechnology from the University of Manchester Institute of Science and Technology. I'm sure you'll be wondering what's happening with biochemistry and biotechnology today. All right. Prior to establishing Afritickets.com and Cranium, Olaotan Towry-Coker worked in publishing, and earlier on in his career, he developed What's New magazine, which went on to popularize the lifestyle and hospitality genre in the country. In addition to this, he founded Frontline Media, a full-cycle advertising agency, which has handled creative inception, strategy, and media buying for some of the largest organizations in the country. Please let's make welcome Olaotan Towry-Coker. Okay, let's start with you, ma'am. I know we already said, we already read your profile, but I'd like you to talk more about Cranium events.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Are we having a good time? We're learning? Okay. Cranium events is my baby. I'm a lawyer. I was called to bar in 2002, so I'm 14 years at the bar. I practiced law for a couple of years, but I've always done event planning. So when the opportunity came for me, when it was ripe for me to go on and start my business, I took it. I did 5 years of legal practice, like I had promised my dad, who was a lawyer, and who I took after. In 2005, I set up my company. I registered it and was doing it part-time alongside my law practice. But 2 years afterwards, I realized that the passion for event planning, which I'd done almost all my life, because my mom is like the master planner in my family and where I learned all that I know. So in 2005, I set up my company. I did it part-time and decided that, look, it's time to take it full-time, no distraction. So I gave up my law practice. In 2007, set up Cranium. It wasn't an easy journey, but it helped because I was already in paid employment. I worked for a law firm called Templars. I don't know if anybody knows about Templars. It's a Lagos-based law firm, and I set up the branch that was in Port Harcourt. So I was able to save a bit. So I didn't have to, initially I didn't have to set up office, but then after I decided to take it full-time, I did set up office. And event planning is, we pioneered event planning in Port Harcourt and basically the Niger Delta. So it was very difficult and challenging. It may look glamorous now, but it's not always been like this. we had a particular challenge in having to convince people to let us handle their events, to let them know that, look, this is beneficial to you. So we did try. So every time we met, like, let me use for instance a bride. Every time we met a bride, met a couple, we had to still convince the parents, because without a go-ahead from them, it was a no-no. So we did this re-education every time we got a client. But we thank God that after many years, it became people became more comfortable with the idea of hiring event planners, hiring wedding planners. They didn't see that like an intrusion into their privacy or into their affairs. It was okay to look, let this person handle the stress. That's the person's business. It's just like you would go to a doctor, and the doctor is an expert. So you would hand yourself over to the doctor to make you feel better. So we are the doctors in the events industry. We try to make you okay, make your day the way you want it, and with zero stress. That's what Subscribe to do.
Thank you. Let's put our hands together for her. Please, I'd like to confirm, because I didn't see her earlier on, but I don't know, is Zazie in the building? Okay, she's not. Okay, cool. Olaotan, please tell us about Afritickets first and foremost. Yeah, let's talk about Afritickets.
Okay, first of all, I want to say thank you for having me here.
You're welcome.
And this is my first time in Port Harcourt, so yeah, thank you all for having me.
Was it like what they told you it is?
I'm yet to find out, so I'm a few hours in, but so far it seems good.
Okay, cool.
Okay, like Uche said, my name is Olaotan Towry-Coker, and I'm the founder of Afritickets, the leading online ticketing platform in Nigeria. I'm also the founder of Cranium One, and Cranium One is essentially a co-working space and a capacity building platform. And very soon we're going to be incorporating incubation. So we're going to be identifying companies, startup, companies with high growth potential. And we're going to be looking at how we can, involve ourselves in the business to help them develop and scale. So whether it means investing capital, or whether it's resources and marketing or legal or general advisory, that's what we're looking at. But yes, Afritickets specifically is an online ticketing platform. So similar to companies abroad like Ticketmaster. I don't know, does anybody know Ticketmaster? Or Eventbrite, exactly. So they are essentially ticketing service providers. And what we do is we essentially create a bridge between consumers, so people who want to attend events, and the actual promoters of the events as well. So we create a bridge that allows people to purchase tickets. So the platform started in 2011, very late 2011. I mean, and it basically came about, because of my own inclination towards events. When I first moved back to Nigeria in 2003, I was very active. I was a young guy. I just came back from the UK, so I was quite rambunctious, should I say. So I was always attending events, and one thing I noticed was the lack of structure in the industry. There was no platform, or should I say, there was no credible platform that, essentially brought the two parties together, allowed people to purchase tickets or to even see what was happening. So people would they would hear, it was word of mouth only. There were lots of concerts happening, there were lots of events and live entertainment shows, but nobody would really know what time they were showing, what's the venue, how much are the tickets. And this was at the time when companies like MTN and at the time I think it was V-Mobile, or was it Zain? When Zain came to the country, they were all trying to grab market share. So all of them were throwing huge concerts. You had Guinness, the Nigerian Breeze as well. All of them were in a massive drive to try and acquire as many customers as possible. And what they were doing, they were throwing events, concerts all the time. And I realized that I was attending all of these events, but I had no way of actually, accessing the tickets. Luckily for me, I knew people, and I was, I started Frontline Media as well, so I was working with a lot of the brands. But there was no easy easy way for people to actually get access to these tickets. So I think it was roughly 2006. I think I approached Ticketmaster to become a representative for them in West Africa. I looked at the easiest way to do this thing. Why create something new when you can? Why reinvent the wheel? Why not just jump on board with somebody who's done it before? So I contacted them. I sent a series of emails, and you receive an email from West Africa. They're probably thinking, who's this 419? I don't want to say, I'm not sending any money. They're used to the narrative out there is that if you get an email from Africa, usually it's, somebody's trying to scam you. So their response was very, very unfavorable, if I put it like that. They didn't want to even get involved. The response was that, oh no, we're already dealing, in South Africa, so X, Y, Z. So basically, I put that on hold for a few years. And the testament of a good idea, or an idea that you're passionate about, is something that you can put to the side, and even a year, 2 years down the line, you still have the same passion to do it. So I literally 2011, the beginning of the year, I said to myself, okay, this is still a valid idea. This is from 2006 to 2011. I said this is something I think is still a need. So I started working on the idea, and let's just say about 6 months of developing, I hired a developer. I don't code, but I have, obviously through my experience and biotechnology, I had a good technical background. So I started working on it with my developer, and 2011 December we launched in December, and since then it's just been a whirlwind of activity.
Good. Let's put our hands together for Towry. Okay, madam, I was going to ask, with your experience, in the industry, let's look at your processes. What are the things that you think, looking back, that you think you would have done better, especially with technology?
Okay, first of all, I'll put it out there, I'm not a techie. I said, first of all, I'll put it out there, I'm not a techie. But
I see there's a trend. None of us are techies.
I did realize that it was important for my business. So first of all, we got on first of all, when we started, we did set up a website. Okay. So we got a lot of business from it. But we also realized that we were not getting as much as we should. So we opened a Facebook account. Then we went on to Twitter, we went on to Instagram. Like I said, I'm not a techie. So since I couldn't run those platforms, I got an IT person to do that, a social media person to do that. So he runs them, we vet the content. We've seen marked improvement, especially for our flagship show, the event show, which is 6 years on. We've seen marked improvement. The following on Twitter and Instagram, and people, they connect better. These days, the millennials, they connect better with you on social media. So people are asking questions. So the old way of writing letters to people, when we started, we wrote letters to vendors. We wrote letters to sponsors. Now it's send me an email. You have direct contact on social media. So that has really impacted my business positively. And I think is the way to go. Okay,
cool. Olaotan, I was going to ask you, she says she's not a techie. So from a techie, from a tech point of view, what are the things, how are the ways you think that tech would have enhanced her business? I'm sure you understand her business right now. So what are the ways tech would have enhanced her business better? And when we talk about tech, are we just talking about social media? So,
I think tech is such a multifaceted word, that there's so many ways that it can really, impact a business. For example, just the outreach to your potential customers, like you said, being able to reach customers in the most efficient way possible. Reaching them through their mobile phones, like, you know, with platforms like Simeon's My Ad, and you know, being able to fulfill your service to the best of your ability. So I'm thinking that, you know, first of all, communication-wise, reaching them through social media, through emails, through all the different communication platforms out there, for one. So getting the word out there for your business, marketing is essential. So I think she could have definitely enhanced it that way. Also, in the technological side of actually facilitating the business, what are the, you know, tech products that are out there that can make maybe servicing your customer easier? Are there, I don't know, ways of renting, you know, I don't know, product, you know, I don't know.
You rent stuffs.
Renting stuff for your events.
Managing inventory.
Managing inventory. So instead of going to, you know, the vendor, you actually put it out there, get the cheapest price from, you know, maybe a marketplace of different vendors, you know.
Like Vendor Hero.
Yeah, like
Hero.
yeah, like
Exactly.
Venue, like Venue
Like
Hero.
Venue
Yeah.
Hero.
Exactly.
So you can tell clients, go there.
Exactly.
Exactly.
See XYZ.
Exactly. So I can, instead of going to one chair vendor, for example, I can put it out there. Who's the cheapest? What are the different specifications? What is the best venue? How much is it? Can I get a cheaper price? So just enabling you to have cost efficiencies that way. So those are just, you know, two simple
And
ways.
especially like keeping data from previous events that you can easily mine and make decisions of.
Absolutely. So registration kiosks, for example. So when people come in, instead of signing, you know, the old antiquated way of doing these things, you go into the event, somebody writes your name down. Usually they write the information incorrectly. So
And you can't use it afterwards.
you can't use it afterwards. So maybe this way you actually have a kiosk which people type in their data.
Yes, we're 6 years. So we've grown from writing on sheets of paper, which we have to collect later. Now we impute it directly to the computer. So we already generated that data, so we can actually send emails to the group and all of that. Yeah.
Then another one is because I mean because we you know, obviously sell tickets for a lot of events, we get to attend them as well. One thing that's really lacking is the experience on the day. And for people who don't actually buy tickets who don't actually have the money to buy tickets for events, how can they experience the event as well? So maybe somebody, I'm throwing an idea out there. Maybe somebody can think about live streaming services.
Exactly. Yeah.
Live streaming services. So, for example, now, if I wanted to watch this from the comfort of my office, how do I do that? Maybe, you know, a subscription service that I can just pay a small amount every month, and I can watch all the events that are happening around town. You know, simple things like that.
I'm not sure. I don't know if anybody picked what he just said. Okay, good. Because that was my next question. I was going to ask you, from your experience, what are the loopholes that you've identified that you think that we could probably solve with tech, or even if not tech, but what are the loopholes that people can actually build businesses off? You know, so you've done one. Do you have any?
Okay, loopholes. For my experience, like years ago, we did do this live streaming, but it was disrupted because of the network. They used one of the networks, and it wasn't smooth sailing at all. We just had breaks. In the end, we had to abandon it. So I'm thinking, if someone can render that kind of service where you have uninterrupted live streaming, then it's easier for you to say to people, okay, if you cannot be in Port Harcourt, you can watch the event. That way you still reach the network you want to reach.
Wow. Okay, cool. I don't know, do you have your last words? Because we have to round this up now because of timing. Yes, you have, yeah. Do you have your last words?
I think there's still a massive opportunity for adding value. I think that, no, I wouldn't call them loopholes. I'll say areas of opportunity for the event industry. I think for me, one of the main things that's lacking is increasing the reach of these events. Most of them are very elitist. They're targeting small niche markets in Victoria Island, in Echo Hotel, or so the opportunity to reach the 170 million people in Nigeria they haven't even scratched the surface. Most of the events are targeting 5,000 people, 3,000 people. So we need to find ways of either streaming these concert events and shows to the masses of people out there, maybe getting 1 naira from 10 million people, as opposed to trying to get 50,000 naira off 300 people to 1,000 people. So, technology that can enable, should I say, the proliferation of the content to more people is something that I would definitely look into.
Ma'am, do you have your last words?
I think we should all look into technology to solve issues for us, because that's the way we're going, so we have to get on board the string.
So one more thing. I think the marketing of events as well. We identified a niche, which was the ticketing aspect and the actual just the selling of the tickets, but then the communication of this. Selling an event on an entertainment product is very different from selling a mobile phone or a fast-moving consumer good. So we need more people to come up with innovative ways of letting people know about these events. So I think that's another area. Marketing of events and live entertainment. That's an area of potential.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Let's put our hands together.
Sorry, do you mind if I take a selfie?
Sure.